My name is Lana Myers. I am 28 years old, and I have a twin sister named Karen who is 7 minutes younger than me. This is our story. Sometimes, life takes unexpected paths. In our case, it started when we were children. The invisible force of our parents' favoritism shaped our lives. Although we are twins, we are fraternal and look quite different. I resemble our father with single eyelids and narrow eyes. Karen has double eyelids like our mother, and her eyes are wide open. She boasts about being a model for a local photo studio when she was a baby. And indeed, she was cute. She was cute enough to make our parents dote on her excessively. My earliest memory is from when I was 5 years old, involving a birthday present. I was forced by our parents to give the cherished teddy bear I received from our grandmother to Karen. At that time, we had just started at a new kindergarten. Our parents insisted that we be placed in the same class and persuaded the principal. Having them in the same class will surely make both of them feel secure. My father's voice was in his usual work mode. As a sales manager, he was skilled at persuading people. Eventually, the principal gave in. Nobody could have imagined that this decision would significantly alter our fates. A few weeks after starting kindergarten, our 5th birthday arrived. Our grandmother gave each of us a teddy bear. Mine was brown and Karen's was white. Both were adorable, but Karen immediately spilled chocolate ice cream on hers. "Lana, Karen's teddy bear got dirty. Why don't you swap yours with hers?" My mother's voice was kind, but I sensed the hidden command in her words. "That's right, Lana. As the older sister, it's only natural for you to give up something for your younger sister." My father's voice carried its usual sternness. I hesitated. It was a precious gift from my grandmother, but Karen was crying loudly. I felt our parents' gazes accusing me. In the end, I let go of the teddy bear. Seeing Karen's smile and our parents' relieved expressions, I felt something definitely change. Since then, an invisible boundary was drawn in our family. Karen became the cherished child and I became the enduring child. This role became more solidified as we grew older. In kindergarten, Karen quickly became popular. Her bright, sociable nature made her adept at making everyone laugh. Meanwhile, I was quiet and introverted. I loved drawing and art time was my favorite. One day, a drawing of mine won first place in a school competition. The teacher called my parents to share the good news. That day, I eagerly awaited my parents' reaction. "Lana, I heard you won first place in the drawing contest. That's wonderful." My mother's voice contained a mix of surprise and joy, but it didn't last long. "But Karen is upset. She wanted a prize too." My father looked at me sternly. "Lana, you are the older sister. You should think more about Karen. Don't do things that make her sad." I was dumbfounded. Was I not even allowed to be happy about my own achievements? From that day, I began to hide my talents and successes. I learned that staying unnoticed and remaining in Karen's shadow was the secret to keeping peace in the family. When we started elementary school, the differences became even more pronounced. Karen was elected class representative and served as the leader of the cheer squad at the sports festival. Our parents always proudly talked about Karen's achievements. Our Karen is trusted by everyone in her class. Even the teachers rely on her. My mother's voice always carried a boastful tone. Meanwhile, my grades were among the top of the class. But even showing my report card only elicited a lukewarm response from my parents. "Well, Lana is as usual," that was all. One day, our teacher called home. I had ranked first in the state in a national mock exam. My parents were momentarily pleased, but soon they began worrying about Karen. How did Karen do? Upon hearing the teacher's answer, my father's face clouded over. "Lana, you should help Karen more. She's your sister, after all." From that day on, I was told to oversee Karen's studies, but Karen showed no interest at all. "What's the use of studying? I'm going to be a celebrity in the future," she declared. Karen said that as she struck a pose in front of the mirror. Our parents watched her and smiled kindly. "Absolutely, Karen will definitely become a star." My mother's voice was filled with admiration and expectation. As we entered middle school, Karen began to seriously pursue a modeling career. She passed an audition for a local magazine and started to appear in it occasionally. Our parents were thrilled and distributed Karen's photos to all our relatives. I continued to excel academically and was highly regarded by my teachers, but at home, I remained in the background. Our parents' conversations always revolved around Karen. I was only mentioned when comparing me to Karen. "Lana is plain compared to Karen. But she's good at studying, so her future is secure." I heard such conversations over and over again. When we entered high school, the gap widened even more. Karen became a cheerleader and attracted attention throughout the school. I focused on my studies and even became the student council president. However, our parents' interest was solely directed towards Karen's cheerleading competitions. "Lana, aren't you going to watch Karen's game?" My mother's voice always had a hint of reproach. "I have to study." My response was always the same. The truth was, it was painful to watch Karen bask in the spotlight. Amidst this, I found my future dream. I wanted to become a financial analyst. I manipulated numbers and analyzed the value of companies. There, I found the fairness I was looking for. Numbers don't lie. I was drawn to a world where one is evaluated solely on their abilities. When I shared this dream with my parents, their reaction was unexpected. "That sounds like something Lana would be good at." My mother's voice had a rare affirmative tone. "You will probably do well." My father also unexpectedly offered words of recognition. In that moment, a small hope sprouted within me. Maybe my parents did recognize my worth after all. I thought that way. Eventually, the time to go to college came. I attended a prestigious university out of state on a scholarship. I planned to study financial expertise in the economics department. Meanwhile, Karen enrolled in a local university. She would study acting in the College of Arts. Karen will surely succeed as an actress. My parents' expectations were still squarely focused on Karen. When college life began, I felt freedom for the first time. Living away from home, I discovered the joy of making my own decisions about my life. Classes were enjoyable, I made new friends, and I started a part-time job. On the other hand, Karen's college life was not going smoothly. Right after enrolling, she began saying that the university was not a good fit for her. "Everyone is too serious here. It's boring for me," she complained. Karen began skipping classes, and within a year, she had dropped out of university. "I'll take some time at home to find the right path for myself," Karen said as she moved back in with our parents. While they were worried, they accepted Karen's decision. "We need to support Karen until her talents bloom," my mother said, comforting Karen. From then on, I gradually reduced my contact with home. Whenever I called, the conversation always revolved around Karen. They hardly asked about my studies or life. After graduating from university, I secured a job at the financial institution I had always wanted to work for. My starting salary wasn't very high, but I found joy in being able to support myself with my own efforts. The job was tough but fulfilling. Facing numbers and analyzing the realities of businesses provided the fairness I sought. Meanwhile, Karen was still doted on by her parents and lived as a NEET under the guise of helping with household chores. Her life was mostly sedentary, eating her favorite foods and lounging around, which led her to gain a significant amount of weight, losing the cuteness of her childhood. However, to our parents, who had become completely indulgent, her physique seemed irrelevant, regardless of the past, when they favored Karen for her cuter appearance over mine. One day, amidst these ongoing circumstances, I suddenly received a call from Karen. "Lana, I want you to give our parents a trip." I was puzzled by her sudden request. "What? Why all of a sudden?" "It's for their 30th wedding anniversary. I heard that the son of Mr. Lane next door gave his parents a trip." Mom seemed envious when she heard about it. I couldn't help but smile wryly as Karen explained, typical of our mother. "She probably doesn't want to be outdone by the Lanes. But we haven't done anything for them before, right? Not for their 10th or 20th anniversaries. That doesn't matter. It's never too late to start." Karen's voice carried her usual confidence. "So, what do you want me to do?" The answer was as expected. "I want you to put up the money. I'll handle all the reservations. Then it can be a gift from both of us." Karen doesn't work, so the allowance she gets from our parents is her only source of income, and she spends all of it. So she has no savings. For a moment, I thought about refusing, but the complex feelings I had for our parents swayed my heart. Indeed, they favored Karen over me, but still, they raised me. Perhaps I should do at least the minimum to honor them. "Okay, I'll set the budget, but I'll leave the rest to you." Karen happily hung up. Afterward, I got caught up in work and completely forgot about the trip for our parents. Then, 2 weeks later, suddenly, I received the news. Our parents had died in a traffic accident while on their trip. I never wanted such a farewell, and I regret contributing financially. Karen repeatedly blamed me for the tragedy. While listening to her cry and scream over the phone, I was oddly calm. It was as if my emotions had frozen. "Lana, what are we going to do?" Karen's voice was broken. "Stay calm. I'm coming home right now. I'll handle everything." After hanging up, I immediately contacted my boss and applied for emergency leave. Then I set off for my childhood home. When I arrived, relatives had already gathered there. Karen was being cradled by one of our mother's friends, crying like a small child. I entered the house quietly and navigated through the bustling relatives to the second floor, to my old room. Stepping into the room, nostalgia hit me, but so did a sense of dissonance. A decade-old poster still hung on the wall, but unfamiliar clothes were carelessly thrown on the bed. Karen had been using it as her room. Taking a deep breath, I shifted my focus. This was no time for sentimentality. There was much to be done. A few days later, the funeral took place. I managed the ceremony methodically. Karen broke down crying, nearly fainting several times. Relatives and our parents' friends were focused on comforting Karen, barely noticing me. After the funeral ended and the relatives had left, Karen and I were alone for the first time. "Lana, what are we going to do now?" Karen asked anxiously. "First, we need to check our parents' will," I replied calmly. "Then, there's the mortgage and insurance paperwork to handle. I'll take care of everything." "Stop being so cold." Karen suddenly screamed. "Mom and Dad are dead. Don't you feel sad at all? It's because of the unnecessary thing you did that Mom and Dad died. Take responsibility for it." Responsibility? Am I not doing enough? Handling all the funeral preparations alone? Could she possibly be referring to the future? At that moment, a chill ran through me. With our parents gone, Karen might intend to depend on me from now on. I was momentarily at a loss for words. True, I hadn't shed a single tear, but that was. "Getting emotional won't solve anything," I said quietly. "We need to deal with reality now." Karen stormed out of the room angrily. The next day, I found the will in Dad's study. It contained something shocking. "Although I am healthy and cannot imagine passing away, if I do, half of my estate will go to Mom, and of the remaining, 80% will go to Karen, because she has always been our support, and the rest will go to Lana." I couldn't believe my eyes. Why such an unfair distribution? Just then, Karen entered the room. "What are you looking at?" I handed her the will silently. As she read it, her expression brightened. Just as I thought. Mom and Dad really did think about me. In response to her words, emotions I had long suppressed suddenly overflowed. "Thinking about you. Karen, you need to wake up. Our parents coddled you so much that you've become an adult who can't do anything on your own." Karen looked shocked. "What? Why would you say something so mean? Are you jealous?" "Jealous? Don't make me laugh," I scoffed. "I've carved out my life with my own efforts. Meanwhile, you've lived off our parents even at 28. Even this distribution of the inheritance is probably because they knew you couldn't manage on your own." "That's cruel." Karen's eyes welled up with tears. "Are you really my sister?" Her words deeply hurt me. Without a pause, Karen continued, "You're going to live on your own anyway, so just renounce the inheritance." "I have no intention of working. I need it for my living expenses. Now that Mom is gone, I should inherit everything." "You have a job, so you don't need the inheritance, right? And by the way, it wasn't a gift from both of us. If you hadn't contributed money, I wouldn't have been able to book it, and Mom and Dad wouldn't have gone on that trip. I'm not giving you a single dollar." I was shaken, but I tried to remain composed. "We are related by blood, but we have nothing else in common. Do whatever you want with the inheritance. I'm going back to my own life. If I renounce the inheritance, I will never, under any circumstances, take care of you again. If you're okay with that, then I'll renounce it." Saying this, I left the room. The following weeks felt like a nightmare. Handling the inheritance process, sorting out the house, confirming our parents' debts. I had to do it all alone. As I was nearing the completion of these tasks, nearly 3 months had passed. Karen's call came as a surprise. "Did you know we're not getting any inheritance money, and there's no life insurance payout either?" Dad was driving under the influence, I explained succinctly. So what Karen seemed unable to grasp the significance. What she didn't understand was that our parents had driven to their vacation destination in their own car, and the police investigation revealed that our father had stopped at a distillery along the way. Despite tasting a significant amount of alcohol, he had continued to drive. Dad always thought that as long as his actions didn't get exposed, they weren't wrong. He indulged himself with the belief that everything was fine as long as he wasn't caught and no accidents occurred, a dangerous overconfidence. This accident was entirely Dad's fault, but as his daughter I felt conflicted. But that's all in the past now. In cases of drunk driving, there are clauses that exempt the insurance company from paying out, because it's considered a preventable, reckless act. Therefore, not only life insurance but also collision damage waiver and vehicle insurance payments were not applicable. After I explained this carefully, Karen shrieked in disbelief. She had assumed a substantial insurance payout was assured and was visibly shocked to learn otherwise. Originally, the beneficiary of the insurance was not me but Karen, who was the favored child. "This doesn't concern me. And what's this compensation about?" she demanded further. "It's because he hit a utility pole in the self-induced accident." I explained. Utility poles are public property, and when damaged in a traffic accident, the actual cost of repairs is billed to those responsible. But $80,000 for a concrete pole. That's ridiculous. It's just a pole. And it's not even broken, right? Karen argued. Actually, it caused a power outage. If anything, that's a low estimate, I explained. Not only had the pole been damaged, but the power lines were severed, causing a major hotel and several residences downstream to lose electricity. Upon hearing this, Karen became hysterical. That's a lie. It must be a lie, she screamed. Lana, you must have hidden it all, trying to steal the inheritance from me. I shook my head in disbelief. Karen, face the reality. Our parents were drowning in debt. They kept borrowing more to support your extravagant lifestyle. Karen broke down crying. So what am I supposed to do now? At that moment, I made my decision. I could no longer take care of Karen. She was 28 and needed to carve out her own path. Karen, listen, I said calmly. We need to go our separate ways. You need to forge your own life with your own efforts. I can't look after you anymore. Karen looked at me in shock. What are you talking about? We're sisters, aren't we supposed to help each other? No, that's not how it is, I said firmly. We might be twins, but we're living separate lives now. You need to become independent. Karen became angry. You're so cold. How can you be so cold? Our parents just died, and you choose this time to abandon me. I took a deep breath, steadying myself against her accusations and the emotional turmoil swirling between us. Karen, this isn't abandonment. I'm treating you as an adult. You aren't a child anymore, are you? Despite her crying over the phone, I ended the call. Since that day, my relationship with Karen completely cooled off. She stayed at the family home, and I returned to my apartment. Occasionally, relatives would contact me, updating me on Karen's situation. With no savings left and no one else to rely on, she had reluctantly started to look for part-time jobs and modeling work. I focused on my career. My path as a financial analyst was successful, and I earned promotions. As I adapted to my new life, memories of my parents and my conflicts with Karen gradually faded. While searching for necessary documents one day, I found a bank book registered in my name. Alongside it was a letter from our grandmother. It seemed it was not my parents, but my grandmother who had left these for me. My grandmother had not been pleased with how our parents favored Karen, and she had admonished them multiple times. Because of this, she gradually became estranged from them and sadly passed away alone in a facility. The letter was already opened and stored with my parents' valuables, suggesting they had not intended to give it to me. However, this was evidence of my grandmother's affection for me and was rightfully mine. 5 years have passed since then. One day, out of the blue, Karen called me. Lana, I need to talk to you. Her voice was completely different from 5 years ago. It was calm and matured. Is something wrong? I asked cautiously. I'm sorry, Karen's voice trembled. About everything 5 years ago, you were right. I finally realized that. I was speechless. In these 5 years, I've learned so much. The hardships of work, the importance of money, what it means to be independent. And I've come to understand your feelings too. Karen continued. Lana, you've been enduring all along. Because of my selfishness, you gave up so much, didn't you? I'm truly sorry. Tears spilled from my eyes for the first time. Karen, Lana, can we start over? This time as real sisters. Something melted inside me at her words. Yes, we can, I smiled. Let's start over. After we hung up, I stared out the window. The sky was clear and blue, hinting at a new beginning. This was the start of a new story for Karen and me, and a new chapter in our own lives as well. After overcoming years of conflict, perhaps we had finally become true sisters. What the future held was uncertain, but I knew I would never feel alone again. And for the first time, I truly felt happy. Months after reconciling with Karen, I made a significant decision. I resigned from the financial institution where I had worked for many years and decided to work independently as a financial planner. My decision was greatly influenced by my reconciliation with Karen. Through our conversations, I found an opportunity to reflect on my own life. Indeed, my work as a financial analyst was fulfilling. However, what I really wanted was to assist individuals in achieving their dreams and goals. Lana, are you sure about this? Karen asked worriedly. You just got promoted. Then, I smiled. Yes, it's fine. I see this as an opportunity. I can use my experience to do what I really want to do. Karen thought for a moment, then smiled warmly. I see. That's very like you, Lana. But let me know if there's anything I can help with. Her words warmed my heart. The old Karen would have been too overwhelmed with her own issues to offer such consideration. The first year of being independent was tougher than I had imagined. I struggled to find clients and my income was unstable. Yet, facing each client individually and being able to support their lives brought me immense satisfaction. Then, an astonishing request came my way. Lana, do financial planners also consult with celebrities? Karen asked with interest one day. Yes, of course. But I don't have such high-profile clients, I replied jokingly. Karen hesitated a bit before saying, Actually, I have a friend who's a young actress. She's recently become popular, but she's struggling with managing her money. I was surprised. Really? But isn't she with a major agency? Karen shook her head. No, she's independent. So she has to handle all the little details herself. Eventually I met with the actress, Audrey. She was indeed young and beautiful, but there was a weariness in her eyes. I'm really sorry for this sudden consultation, Audrey said. Not at all. I smiled. I'm here to help if I can. Audrey's concerns were more serious than I had imagined. Though her income had increased due to her recent success, she had no knowledge about managing taxes or investing for the future. I've only ever focused on acting, Audrey said shyly. But I know I can't continue like this. Hearing this, I was reminded of the old Karen, chasing dreams without facing reality. It's okay. I took Audrey's hand. Let's work hard together. Over the next few months, I developed a financial plan for Audrey from scratch. From the basics of taxes to long-term asset management, I explained everything carefully. Audrey was a quick learner. Lana, thank you so much. I didn't realize how much there was to learn. Her words filled me with great joy. I was making a tangible contribution to someone's life. This was exactly what I had been seeking. The work I did with Audrey began to attract attention, and gradually I started gaining more clients from the entertainment industry. My business developed in unexpected directions. One day, Karen burst into my office, visibly excited. Lana, it's incredible. We've got an interview request from a TV station. I was so surprised that I stood up from my chair. What do you mean? Karen explained, breathless. You're being called the Alley of Celebrities. They want to feature you as a financial planner who supports the financial independence of young entertainers. I was perplexed. But I'm just doing my job. There's nothing special about that. Karen shook her head. No, Lana, you are special. Not many can understand the complex income structures of celebrities and give advice while respecting their dreams. Her words made me think deeply. Indeed, the financial situations of celebrities are unique. Unstable incomes, sudden large payments, complex taxes, and above all, the importance of pursuing dreams. Perhaps through my experiences and my relationship with Karen, I had come to deeply understand these. In the end, I decided to accept the TV interview. It wasn't just to promote my own work, but also as an opportunity to convey the importance of financial independence to young entertainers. On the day of the interview, I stood in front of the camera, nervous. Ms. Myers, why did you decide to become a financial planner specializing in celebrities? The interviewer asked. I paused to think before answering. Actually, I have a twin sister. She once aspired to be in the entertainment industry too, but she lacked financial knowledge. I spoke candidly about my past with Karen, our relationship with our parents, and the process of reconciliation. While I omitted the finer details, I explained how these experiences connected to my current work. Pursuing dreams is wonderful. However, to sustain those dreams long-term, a solid financial foundation is necessary. I aim to support celebrities in achieving both, I explained. When the interview concluded, the staff applauded. The director approached me and said, "Thank you for such an inspiring story. It will surely resonate with many people." After the broadcast, the response was greater than anticipated. Not only did numerous young entertainers reach out for advice, but general viewers also shared how the interview helped them appreciate the importance of balancing dreams and reality. That evening, Karen came to my apartment. "Lana, I watched it," she said with sparkling eyes. "It was wonderful." I smiled, a bit embarrassed. "Thank you. But I could only tell that story because you were there with me." Karen nodded quietly. "Lana, sometimes I still think about it. If I had been more realistic back then, maybe I could have become a famous actress by now," she mused. I looked at her, surprised, but saw no regret in her expression. But Karen continued, "I am satisfied with my life now. That setback allowed me to truly confront who I am, find the job I have now, and more importantly, it made us true sisters." I hugged Karen spontaneously. "Karen." At that moment, I felt that we had truly reconciled. The wounds of the past might not be completely healed, but we had found closure and a new beginning together. But we could use that as nourishment to grow together. I was sure of it. Looking outside the window, the full moon was shining brightly. Its light seemed to bless our new life. What the future holds, I do not know, but I will never feel lonely again. Having a sister who understands and supports me is enough to make me feel content. And I whispered from the bottom of my heart, "Thank you, Karen. And thank you, Mom and Dad." My feelings towards our parents are still complex, not fully reconciled. But it was because of them that I am who I am today. For the first time, I felt I could truly accept that fact. Bathed in the moonlight, Karen and I sat quietly together. A new morning awaits us.